Hello everyone, welcome to English Digest.
I'm Sam.
And I'm Angeline, and it's time for our translation unit. As usual, we will discuss two topics in this episode. In part A, we will talk about a serious topic, suicide, which is the act of killing yourself because you do not want to continue living. Now, you may know a person who has had thoughts of suicide or even attempted suicide. This topic has been brought to light in recent years with students and celebrities making the headlines. In 2020, there were a lot of Japanese celebrities, right, that were committing suicide.
Yes.
And I think Korean ones, were they in 2019 that they were committing suicide?
Yes.
So committing suicide has been a topic that we've been talking about quite recently. I think social media has put increased pressure on society. Social media, so Instagram, Facebook. And in part B, we'll get to talk about firecrackers.
Okay.
Now, firecrackers are illegal in Canada, so my only experience with them is in recent years when I was in Asia.
Really? It's illegal?
Yeah, it's illegal in Canada. You
Why
can't
is
just
it?
set off firecrackers because they're very dangerous. Yeah. I actually think firecrackers are really neat, and the customs and traditions involving firecrackers are ones we should try to preserve because it is a part of history.
Yeah.
And I think it's something that is nice, but it has to be regulated and people have to act responsibly with them.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get started on our translation unit, beginning with part A.
好，马上来看一下我们 Part A 的这个单句翻译了。我们的第一部分呢，就要来讨论一下这个自杀这个议题了。中文呢，他说短短3天内，同一所学校呢就有2名学生自杀，这震惊了大众。那这个句子呢，在这边先提醒大家我们使用过去式来描述呢，这个是一个过去已经发生的事情。
Okay, in English, the sentence is translated to, in just 3 days, 2 students at the same school committed suicide, which came as a shock to the public.
好，在这边我们自杀这个字呢，英文我们就说 suicide。那 suicide 这个字呢，我们搭配的是动词commit suicide。那我们也可以直接说呢 kill oneself， 就是呢把这个自己杀死，或者是你可以说 end one's life， 或是呢 take one's own life， 把自己的生命结束，或者说把自己的生命给取走这样的意思。
This news is definitely concerning, right? The news that, in just 3 days, 2 students in the same school committed suicide. And I'm sure the school would receive a lot of bad rep. I would have so many questions for the schools. Did these students know each other? Did they have the same teachers? Did this incident happen during an important exam period? Maybe during midterm exams, during final exams? Or maybe after the students were giving their results, okay? Maybe these students were getting the final results of their 4th year in university.
Yes.
I'm guessing most of these questions would focus on the reason for the suicide, right? We always want to find a reason for why somebody would end their life. Not only did the students attend the same school, the suicides happened within days of each other. This would surely come as a shock to many.
Yes, of course. 震惊了什么人呢？在这边我们用这个片语 come as a shock to somebody. Shock 就是震惊的意思啊。我们可以看一下这个例句 News of Mina's arrest for stealing cars came as a shock to her family. 米娜呢，因为偷车而被逮捕的消息呢，让她的家人很讶异。那另外呢，我们也看一下句子里面有用到了 which 这个字。那在这边呢 which 是关系代名词的用法，这里的 which 呢补充说明了前面只去提到的一整件事情。OK， 那这个时候呢要特别注意呢 which 前面呢要加逗点，并且呢在这边呢是不能够跟 that 来做替换的哦。我们看一下例句 Adam has studied extremely hard for this test. 逗号 which should ensure him a good grade. OK， 亚当为这个考试呢非常用功的念书，这应会确保他得到好成绩。在这边呢，这个 which 就是这 OK 这件事情的这个这的这个功能。那注意到呢，我们前面是有逗号，并且呢不可以用 that 来替换哦。
Okay, so I have a question. I'm guessing you don't know anybody who's attempted to commit suicide, or somebody who has had suicidal thoughts. Now, having suicidal thoughts means you have the thoughts or the idea, or you're thinking about trying to kill yourself. Sometimes they might say it out loud. People who have these suicidal thoughts, sometimes they might keep it to themselves, so it can come as a huge surprise to everyone.
Okay, yeah.
But what if you know somebody who has suicidal thoughts? What do you think you would do? I feel like it's not just painful for the person itself, but also for the people around them who have to.
Yeah, I guess I would just have to, I don't know, listen to them. Yeah, if they want to talk, probably just listening to them would be nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
And, what else can I do?
Yeah.
You study
Psychology, yeah.
right? Yeah.
But obviously, if you can, you should refer them to a psychologist.
Yes.
Or a counselor. Now, this is obviously not the easiest thing to convince your friend to do, because I'm sure if your friend wanted to seek professional help, they would have done that already.
Yes.
But there's also a stigma. I don't know if there's a stigma in Taiwan, in school, where it's like not a good thing to go see a counselor or not a good thing to see a psychologist, right?
Yes.
So for me, that's the first thing I would do, is to try to see if I can get professional help for my friend. But it's really hard because not a lot of people are willing to accept that they have a problem. And they might also feel like, nobody can help them. So what's the point of going to a psychologist? What is a psychologist going to do, right?
Yes.
So yeah, obviously try to get professional help for your friend. But I guess if that's not something that you can do, the only thing is, like what Sam said, is just to listen. Just like when you talk to people who are grieving, okay? So people who've lost a loved one, or maybe a pet or whatever, they're grieving. You never say, I know how you feel. That's not something that you should say to somebody who's hurting. Just because you lost your grandpa doesn't mean that you understand how your friend is reacting to the loss of their grandparent, their grandpa. So it is something, it's almost a little bit ignorant to say that. Another thing that you don't want to say to people is like, oh, they're in a better place. Really, the best thing is not to say anything at all. Because anything that you say could trigger them. It could make them upset or think about something that makes them feel even worse. So just sitting there, and listening and just being there, helping them is one thing. But when we're talking about suicidal, you probably need a professional to intervene. And if you realize that your friend's been talking about for quite a while, and it seems like it's not just a passing phase, it's actually something that they're really thinking about, you really do need to get professional help. You might need to call somebody to intervene, just to talk to them. Now, I have to share something, because it might seem very daunting to talk to some professionals to seek help, but it's actually quite the opposite, because when you go to a professional, when you go to a psychologist or a counselor, these people don't know who you are. So they're not talking to you as a friend, and they're not going to judge you either. So actually it can feel very comforting to talk to them, because you get to spill.
It's probably easier.
Yeah,
yes.
You get to spill your feelings to them, and then there's no consequence from it, because you might not see them again, or if you do see them again, it doesn't matter, right? But it's just like you feel so relaxed when you talk to them. Yeah, so it's not so bad to talk to a professional whenever you feel down or depressed. Yeah. And there are those hotlines that you can call anonymously, right?
Yes.
And you can just call them, pick up the phone and call them, and they'll help you work through your thoughts. They have hotlines in Taiwan, right?
Yes,
Suicidal hotlines.
They
Of
have
course they
hotlines,
should.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's another thing you could recommend, is to tell your friend to call the hotline.
Yeah,
and talk to
they
somebody.
won't tell anyone about
and
your
you,
secrets.
And you can call it anonymously, which means you don't even need to leave your name. You don't need to leave any information. You just need to talk, and that's all that they will do. When you call on the phone anonymously, nobody will know who you are. They can't even put a face to your name. Even if you gave your name, they wouldn't even know what you look like. So yeah. Anyways, let's take a look at the second part of Part A to find out how the school dealt with this situation.
好，马上看到我们这个 Part A 的单句翻译的第二部分哦。他说呢，这使得该所学校决定雇佣呢更多人以提供他们的学生心理咨商服务。那一样呢，这句话呢，我们是在描述过去发生的事情，所以呢，动词时态我们一样使用过去式就可以咯。
In English, the sentence is translated to, this made the school decide to hire more people to offer psychological counseling services to their students. Okay, so I'm sure an investigation was conducted to see what could have contributed to the suicides. And there may still be a lot of unanswered questions. But the school has to take proactive measures to prevent this from happening again, right? Therefore, the school provides psychological counseling to its students. Okay? So counseling refers to the advice and support given by a counselor to someone to help them deal with problems or make important decisions. There are different types of counseling. One can seek for any problem, really. If you're suffering from grief after a death of a loved one, you can receive bereavement counseling. Couples may seek couples counseling and have a professional mediate to help them with their relationship. There's also career counseling. If you have no idea what you want to do, there's people that can help you work through that and talk about, they can give you tests to find out what types of jobs are suitable for your personality. Students at the school are offered psychological counseling. Now, the adjective psychological means connected with a person's mind and the way in which it works. For example, we can talk about how the environment can affect the psychological development of children. Or a doctor might say that a patient's symptoms are more psychological than physical.
OK. 好，相对于这个 physical 就是物理的、生理的刚刚我们看到这个单词呢 psychological 呢，它就是心理的意思。那这边句子呢，我们看到一样有看到这个实义动词的用法，实义动词就是包含了这个像 make、have、that。get，OK， 这些呢就是属于这个实义动词，这边我们用的 made，OK， 那这些用词呢，这些动词的用法呢，都是后面加上受词。注意到受词的后面呢，如果是主动的话，比方说呢，要我去写功课，我是主动写功课 ，OK， 这样子的句子的时候呢，像是 make。have 跟 that，OK， 我们后面呢加上受词之后呢，要直接加上原形动词。那如果是 get 的话呢，则是要加上 to 加上原形动词。比方说 make me do my homework，OK， 要我去做作业，就会变成呢 get me to do my homework，OK， 意思不太一样，但是呢，它这边的变化，我们主要是要看这个动词后面接的这个变化了。那如果被动的话呢，比方说我们把头发给剪了 ，OK， 头发被剪掉了。是属于被动，那这个时候呢 make、have 和 get 是要直接加上这个VPP 过去分词，那 that 的话呢，则是要加上 be 动词再加上 PP 咯。我们看这个例句，比方说呢，把头发剪了 ，Fred needs to get his hair cut soon since it's getting very long。OK， 他很快呢就需要剪头发，因为头发长很长了。OK，get his hair cut， 注意到呢 get 受词后面是直接加上过去分词，那如果我们直接把它硬改成 that的话呢，它会变成说 that his hair be cut。OK， 注意到是 that 加上受词加上 be 动词再加上过去分词，这个要特别注意。那另外呢，我们句子也看到提供哦，提供这个字呢，英文可以用动词 offer， 它的用法呢，你可以说 offer somebody something。或是呢 offer something to somebody， 那你也可以用 provide 这个动词 provide somebody with something， 或是呢 provide something for someone。我们呢看例句 Parents should provide their children with love and support。 父母呢应该给他们的孩子爱和支持。那另外还有这个单字呢 supply 也很常呢被翻译为提供哦，但是呢它比较是常用于这个实体的物品的提供，所以在这边呢我们这样子的心理咨商呢是不适用这个动词的哦。那例句里面有讲到，我们刚刚讲到 psychological 心理的，那心理咨商怎么说呢？这个名词哦 psychological counseling， 它常简称为这个 counseling。OK，counseling 就是表示咨商的意思。那它很长的话呢，是搭配动词 receive，OK， 接受心理咨商。OK，Jamie began receiving counseling after he witnessed a terrible accident。 自从呢他目击了这场可怕的意外之后呢，他开始接受咨商。那另外呢，要特别注意到 counsel 这个字呢，它的动词哦 counsel C-O-U-N-S-E-L 是諮商的意思哦。那另外一个字念起来一样 counsel C-O-U-N-C-I-L 这个字呢是名词，是议会。 OK， 注意到这两个字不要混淆了。我们呢可以用这个动词来造个句子 The teacher counseled her students on the complicated process of applying for university。 OK， 那名老师呢针对申请学校的复杂手续呢，为他的学生进行咨商。
I wish my teacher did that for me.
Yeah? No?
No, my teacher didn't.
You didn't have this kind of service in your...
No, well, I mean, we had a counselor that probably could have helped me, but we only had that one counselor in school. But what I mean is I was hoping that your teachers, your homeroom teachers, or the teachers that you spend the most time with would actually help you with the process. But that wasn't the case, unfortunately. Anyways, we're going to take a quick break before we jump into part B of our translation unit. So don't go anywhere. Okay, welcome back. It's time to switch gears and talk about something a little less serious. Well, it is serious, but a little less depressing, I guess. And that is fireworks, okay? So when do people commonly set off fireworks in Taiwan?
New Year.
Okay.
Yeah, both New Year and Chinese New Year.
Okay.
I remember the New Year you've just passed. Yeah, around 1 o'clock, like midnight, after midnight. Yeah, there's a bunch of kids in my neighborhood starting firecrackers and woke me up.
Oh, 1 o'clock, you were already in bed? You're
Yes.
an old grandpa, aren't
Yeah.
you?
Yeah, so I feel like there should be some regulation against this, or yeah, maybe I'm just getting old.
You're just getting old.
Yeah. I ever set up a firework, but firecrackers is like something I grew up playing.
Oh, you played with firecrackers.
Not really play, but yeah, I start like firecrackers. Yeah.
You did. Okay. Is it
Yeah.
scary? I don't think I would be a little bit scared to start them off. I would feel like they would blow up in my face.
Yeah, it feels like, for me it feels like pop up those like balloons.
Oh, it's like popping a balloon?
Yeah, for
Okay.
me it feels like you are sitting on a balloon.
Oh, okay. So so when you set it off, so when you light the
Yeah.
firecracker, how many seconds do you have to leave? Or can you stand really close to the firecrackers?
I think you stand like, of course not like touching them like that close, but like standing right next to that should be fine because it looks scary, but it's not really that, I don't know, it's not very dangerous.
It's not? Okay.
Yeah,
'Cause
I think.
I'm thinking I think of the worst case scenario, and also because I probably watched all of the installments of Final Destination.
Yes.
I feel like the firecracker would blow in my face or something very terribly wrong would happen. Like it doesn't happen to anybody, but it would happen to me.
Yeah.
The 0.001% of the population would be me, where the firecracker would send me to the hospital. Okay, so let's take a look at our Part B sentence. What does it say?
OK， 好，我们看一下 Part B 的单句翻译哦，要讨论一下这个鞭炮 ，OK，firecrackers。
Yeah.
那我们第一句呢，他说台湾庙会呢以有许多鞭炮为特色，但这个有时呢会引起民怨咯。OK， 在这边呢是一个现在存在的事实，所以我们动词时态使用现在简单式就可以咯。
Okay, in English, the sentence is translated to Taiwan's temple festivals often feature lots of firecrackers, but this can sometimes cause public dissatisfaction. Okay, so I read online that one of Taiwan's greatest attractions is the sheer range and depths of its festivals. There are many religious festivals celebrated throughout the year, like Guanyin, the goddess of mercy's birthday, is celebrated at Buddhist temples, as well as the Supreme Emperor of the Dark Heaven's birthday.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I don't even know what that is. Do you know that's a god or a deity,
because,
right?
Yeah, it's 玄天上帝, but I didn't know that how it sounds really supreme in
Yeah.
English. Yeah.
Apparently, he's the controller of the elements,
Yeah,
especially
yeah.
fire. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, OK， 好，我们看到呢，这个庙会英文怎么说？哎，其实很简单哦，就是呢 ，Temple Festival。Temple 就是庙 ，OK，Festival 就是庆典，所以两个字合在一起就是庙会了。Vivian enjoys attending the temple festivals that happen every year.During Ghost Month, OK， 薇薇安喜欢参加每年鬼月都会举办的庙会。
And festive activities to celebrate temple festivals include puppet stand theater performances,
Yes.
float parades, dragon and lion dances, and of course, they feature firecrackers.
Yes, yeah, those puppet stands. I used to be like really afraid of those.
Oh, were you?
Yeah. Still now.
You still are afraid of them. Okay. I've never watched through one of them because I wouldn't understand anything they said. So yeah, but it's an interesting tradition.
Yes,
That is,
yeah.
Except during the ghost month. You're not supposed to sit there and watch, right?
Yeah, because it's like performing for
The ghost.
Yeah, 我们看一下呢，在这边他说 B 以 A 为特色，或是呢我们说 A 是 B 的特色。OK， 我们可以用 feature 这个动词，你可以说 B feature A。OK，A 是 B 的特色。B 有 A 这个特色，或是呢，你可以用这个动词 characterize，OK，A characterize B，OK， 或是你可以用被动 B is characterized by A，OK，Christopher is characterized by his unique laugh，OK， 克里斯多夫呢以特别的笑声为特色 ，which lets people recognize him instantly，OK， 这个让呢人可以马上呢认出他来。那句子呢，我们也看到引起。导致 OK 民怨的这个动词，那在这边我们可以用动词 cause， 或是呢 lead to result in 结果怎么样。 或者是呢像 bring about, contribute to, give rise to, OK, 这些片语这些单词都是很常用到的。OK, the political candidate's embarrassing mistake led to his decline in popularity.那名呢政治候选人尴尬的错误导致他的声望下滑。OK, lead to 导致怎么样
Okay, I can appreciate how firecrackers can cause public dissatisfaction, right?
Yeah.
Especially for Sam when he heard them during New Year's Eve or New Year's Day when they went off. They can really be a nuisance, especially if you're trying to sleep or you're suddenly awoken by them.
Yeah, I think it's also like a problem like after they finished these firecrackers, it will be like lots of like small piece of trashes around.
Oh, like the
yes,
ashes of
yes,
the...
and everything.
Okay, so that's how it causes public dissatisfaction. I see.
I think that can also be a problem. 民怨我们刚刚一直讲到 public dissatisfaction 或是呢 public discontent. OK, content 或是 satisfaction 都是满意或是开心的意思，所以前面加上 this 这个字首呢就是不满意不开心了。The order from the government to stay at home caused significant public discontent. 政府呢命令人们待在家里呢，引发了许多民怨。
Okay, so let's take a look at this sentence number 2.
第二句呢，他说这是因为有些寺庙违法在深夜制造噪音，并于呢每一次庙会过后留下大量的垃圾。在这边一样，我们延续使用现在简单式来描述一个现在发生的事实喽。
Okay, in English, the sentence is translated to, this is because some temples illegally make noise late at night and leave a huge amount of trash behind after each festival. So it does sound like that it is illegal to, or there are certain times when firecrackers can be released. Not anytime, anywhere, whenever you want.
好，在这边呢看到这个深夜制造噪音，深夜呢你可以说 late at night 或是 in the middle of the night, OK, 在夜晚之间，也可以用呢这个 in the dead of night 这种用法呢比较不常见，比较戏剧化一点，有点这个太夸张了。那 deep into the night 呢这个用法呢则是比较诗意一点所以在这边可能比较不适合。我们看一下这个例句 Charlie was woken up in the dead of night by a loud scream from outside. 查理呢深夜因为外面响亮的尖叫声而被吵醒喽。
Okay, so a lot of religious celebrations in Taiwan actually can leave a lot of trash behind. Take the burning of incense and joss paper, as well as food offerings that are offered to ancestors or deities as examples. Now, I respect the customs that come with these religious activities, but I also feel extremely guilty about the amount of waste and damage the burning of joss paper does to the environment.
Yeah, there should be like recyclable joss paper
Recyclable?
or maybe, I don't know, sustainable material kind of thing.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe.
好，留下很多垃圾，留下呢，你可以用这个片语 leave something behind. OK, 在这边我们就是 leave trash behind, 把这个垃圾给留下来了。那大量的垃圾，大量的呢，你可以用 amount 呢是搭配不可数名词它的用法你可以说a huge amount of 很大量的，或是 a large amount, a great amount, 或是 a good amount of 后面加上不可数名词都是可以的。The naughty little boy poured a huge amount of flour all over the kitchen floor. 那名顽皮的小男孩呢，将大量的面粉撒在整个厨房的地板上。那这边呢是不可数的名词那可数的名词怎么办呢？我们就要搭配的是 number. OK, 那跟刚刚一样，你可以用这些形容词 a good number of, a great number of, 或是 a huge number of 都可以了。A great number of students have complained that they have too much homework every day. 大量学生呢抱怨他们每天有太多作业喽。好的，所以呢这边呢是我们刚刚 Part B 的句子，我们呢休息一下。
Unit 8, Translation, March 12th. In just 3 days, 2 students at the same school committed suicide, which came as a shock to the public. This made the school decide to hire more people to offer psychological counseling services to their students. Taiwan's temple festivals often feature lots of firecrackers, but this can sometimes cause public dissatisfaction. This is because some temples illegally make noise late at night and leave a huge amount of trash behind after each festival. Okay, so it seems like there are ways to reduce the litter that is caused by these celebrations. And that is to do stuff online. So maybe we can have virtual firecrackers.
Firecrackers.
It won't feel the same, but I mean, you could kind of mimic what a virtual
you can use your phone. Maybe there will be like an AR filter, firecracker filter.
Exactly. Yeah. We might be moving towards that direction, and maybe generations down will not even know what a firecracker is because they only have it. Just like you can roll dice on your phone.
Yes.
Yeah, you don't need the actual physical firecracker, right? I mean, it's not the same, but if we want to save the environment, we have to make do with what we have. Okay, so we've come to the end of our lesson for today. Thank you for joining us. This is Angeline.
This is Sam.
Goodbye.